Na 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 na
Hi, this is Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson.
Hey, I'm Zane Gonzalez.
What's up, everybody? I'm Matt Leinart, 2004 Heisman Trophy winner.
Hi, I'm Matt Barry from ESPN. You're getting ready to watch one of the best college football podcasts ever. It's the Harris Highlights Show.
You're watching the Harris Highlights Show.
And you're watching the Harris Highlights Show.
And you listen to the Harris Highlights Show. Enjoy it.
Coming to you live from my beautiful backyard in Monrovia, California. This is the Harris Highlights Show with no camera because Brady, for whatever reason, turned my camera off, and now I'm officially on screen. Can you boys see me? Okay, that's good. Yeah, for whatever reason, it was saying the host will not let you join, so that's not good. So welcome to the Harris Highlights Show from my backyard in Monrovia, California. We have a very, very exciting, very fun, and very unique show for you guys this week. Something we've never done before, something that we all kind of talked about over the course of the last week or so, something that a lot of work went into, but we were able to figure it out. So before we get into what our show is going to be, join me this week is our college football analyst, Josh Schaefer, our college football expert, Lyle Goldstein, our executive producer, Brady Klein, and I am your host for the evening, Blake Harris. Boys, how has our past week been? We are all, I believe, now officially in different locations because we didn't have a show last week. We took a week off after that insane, amazing trivia show that I hosted that everyone seemed to just love. We're all now spread out across the country, so we'll go one by one, say where we are and what we've been up to since we last saw each other 2 weeks ago.
Well, not a show goes by where Blake doesn't nearly dislocate his own arm trying to pat himself on the back. But back in California now, moved out of Tempe, I guess not this past Saturday, not like 3 days ago, but last Saturday, came back to LA, now in the childhood bedroom, as you can probably tell by all of the cardinal and gold in the background. It also took me like 30 minutes just to figure out where I wanted to record the show, because the last couple of times we've talked planning for this show, I've been in different locations every time, and finally settled on here because of the timing and the lighting. So there we go.
I'm still in Arizona. What's gone on in the last couple of weeks? I mean, honestly, not a whole lot. I know these answers are getting cliche and boring, but stuff in Arizona is starting to reopen, so I guess that's nice. But yeah, just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, you guys forgot one of the biggest things that happened. The three of us, Blake happened earlier. We graduated college, guys.
Oh, there's that too.
Yeah,
graduated college.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was just super anticlimactic.
It was a great video. I mean, Lyle, were you up there with Al Michaels?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, so we graduated college.
That was cool, but so I took a picture of that, and I'll remember that for sure. But that's not the same as like actually walking on stage and all that. So.
No, it's not. I'm back in Indianapolis. I've still been in Indiana for the past 2 months, and in the war room now. So I'm getting ready to see how today goes and see if what we built works out well.
Yeah, it took these guys long enough to graduate college. I did it back in December, back when it was cool to do it, in person. And actually,
after how many years, Blake?
Aren't you like 27?
So I noticed that a lot of people in the comments are already saying that I did in fact shave my beard. So the beard is no more. Someone commented saying that he no longer looks like an 1800s presidential candidate. So yeah, the beard is no more. It's coming back slowly but surely. Also, again, I do apologize because birds are starting to chirp. My turtle Dribble is trying to, and there he goes. He just.
Oh, is Dribble the turtle making too much noise, Blake?
Is he making a run for it?
he has like this feature that's like this whole big rock, and he was just on top of it, and he just decided to flop into the water. And yeah, so dribble's making noise. So I apologize if there's all that going on, but we have a fun show ahead for everyone right now. So essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drafting an all-time college football fantasy roster. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to be for any league or anything. This is just for fun. We just want to put together the best teams, and then we're going to turn to the fans to vote for who has the best overall squad when it's all said and done. This is going to be broken into 2 shows into 2 weeks because there are 16 different positions, or whatever you want to call them, because there's some non-positions there. 16 total spots on the roster, as it's starting to get really windy right now. As I mentioned, 2 shows. Now, this is going to be the exciting part, because this is where our fans come into things right now, guys. Brady, I hope you're going to get ready for right now. So we're going to turn to you fans right now that are watching us live in the comment section right now. Whoever the first person to comment a number between 1 and 15, we're going to go with that number, and then Brady is going to randomize the 4 of our names that many amount of times, and that's how the draft order is going to be determined. It's going to be a snake draft, so we're going to go 1 through 4, and then back down. We're going to do that all the way to the first 8 picks. And then, as I mentioned, next week, we're going to do the final 8 picks. So while we wait for the first number, let's see what we got here. Who do you guys, and we got the first one. Brady, it comes from Sports Predictions and More, and he says 10. So put our names down in a randomizer, randomize it 10 times, and that's going to be the draft order. So I think Brady's turning on his screen sharing now. He's got all of our 4 names right there. And let's do it, Brady. Randomize that bad boy 10 times.
You want to count it for me, Blake?
All right, let's all count it together, guys.
1, 2.
All right, Brady. I feel like you can haul through them a bit.
Yeah, I know.
It is windy here.
You should use headphones.
That's going to make it worse.
It is?
It's a close-up mic.
Yeah, it's going to pick it up.
All right, you guys ready for the draft order? Here we go.
Final one. What do we got? Oh, no.
That's tough, Blake. That's tough.
For those of you that don't know, Josh,
nobody would know. Literally not one person not hosting this show would know.
Josh has been giving me a bunch of grief saying he is going to pick a player that I'm not expecting. And I was saying, well, that's too bad because I'm going to pick him before you. But unfortunately now Josh picks at 1. So I can't take the player that Josh is going to take unless he thinks he can fall back to him in the second round. So, all right, boys, we have the draft order. Do you want to
explain a little anything about this? That's
right. Let me explain a bit about it. So before Brady opens up the Excel sheet, so essentially the 4 of us, we just added whatever names we wanted. I think there's a different amount for each position. I think some positions have like 6, 7 players. Some positions have like 15 to 20 players. We just added who we thought are the best players of all time, the most exciting, the most memorable. So there might be a player missing that you thought should have been on the list, but that's why it's our list. That's why this is it's my show, but it's our show, guys. That's why it's our show. So that's essentially how we did it. So how it's going to work.
Your shoulder's looking a little loose, Blake.
That's true.
Looks like it popped out there.
Whenever anyone drafts a player, they're going to just go delete the name from the list of players available. That way, no one picks the same player twice. Did I do a good job of explaining it, guys? Is there anything else that we need to go over before we get underway?
Blake, I'm pretty sure Blake's probably already seen this, but we all had a group phone call last night to test this with a list of like different players just to make sure everything was working like perfectly. And Blake had to leave because he was he was ratatouilleing it up in the kitchen. Blake was making dinner. So we actually went back and took one more look at the list, and I think Blake has already seen it. We realized there were a couple of pretty good quarterbacks that were not on the list last night. So we mixed around some of the quarterbacks. Like that just shows how tough it was to kind of narrow it down. So just figured we'd point that out.
I'll say this. We have on our list, we have 23 quarterbacks. There will be 8 quarterbacks taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a roster rundown too, Blake? How many positions per whatever?
Yeah.
I have it pulled up if you want me to.
Yeah, if you have it pulled up, you can give the roster rundown right now.
So each team, each person will come up with a team name after their draft. 2 quarterbacks on each roster, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 offensive lineman, a kicker, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, 1 DB, a flex player who was, someone that didn't really fit into a specific category, a head coach, and then a set of broadcasters for your team. Us being broadcasters, we're going to be, we have affinity for broadcasters. So we're going to pick our broadcast squad, and it's some unusual pairs that you're going to be selecting from right now too.
Yeah, that's the fun part. We took broadcasters that normally aren't paired with each other, and we put them with each other on that. So guys, are we ready to go? Are we ready to do this?
Do you need me to get? You want me to get the draft jingle up again to play every time?
If you're able to go ahead, if it's not too much trouble. I know when we did our live college football fantasy draft last year, which by the way, yeah, for those of you that don't know, Yahoo does college football fantasy during the year. And last year we had an entire show where we just actually live drafted college football fantasy teams, and that was a lot of fun. But I think that's what Brady did too, where every time we made a pick, we played the generic ESPN jingle, whatever that was. So that was a lot of fun. Look forward to that in August, if there's a college football season.
Let me know if you guys can hear this.
No.
Negative.
No? Was it too quiet or just not?
I just didn't hear anything.
Here, let's do this. Computer sound only. Hey, we're learning on the fly.
There we go.
Okay, there it is. Perfect.
Pretty loud. Good
All
volume.
right, so Brady, get the Excel sheet up on the board, and Josh, I believe, is on the clock. And also, there's no timer for this. It's not like you have 30 seconds or a minute, but I mean, you should, for the most part, be able to go through it fairly quickly or whatnot. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's no official timer or anything like that.
All right, guys. Well, I guess since I'm on the clock, we'll say I'm just going to pull out my my 2-time trivia championship trophy, and we're going to put that right here, we'll say. Blake, I'm going to give you one guess on who I'm going to take with this first pick. I told Blake yesterday it would not be a quarterback or a running back, so that already rules out Leinart and Reggie Bush. I will give you one more chance, Blake. I'm going to take this person. I'll give you one chance to pick who it's going to be.
Yeah, hold on. I'm loading up the doc right now. So
how did you not have it open already?
Because the host of the show. I'm the best, but I don't even have my stuff ready.
I thought he was going to go with Reggie Bush. I thought that was going to be a guaranteed lock. But since it's not a quarterback or a running back, I'm going to have to think it's got to be. This is tough. Let's go with. I'm going to go with Keyshawn Johnson.
That's an excellent pick. That's an excellent pick, Blake.
Thank you.
However, actually, I don't know if the fans can see me, but whatever.
They can see you. So
they can they?
I believe so.
Oh, what's crazy is we're not going with him. We're going with Ronnie Lott, first overall.
That's who my second one was going to be, but I was like, no way he's going to go defense with the first pick, but I guess he did.
In my completely 100% unbiased opinion, Ronnie Lott is the best defensive player in college football history. And for me, there's a lot of good quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers on the board. So for me, I thought, you know what? For each of these defensive positions, we're only planning on taking one guy for each. We're not assembling an entire defense, obviously. So for me, if I was going maybe a little bit away from the chalk, which would probably be a quarterback or a running back right away, I figured I'm going to go with the guy who I think is the best player in USC history and easily one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive back in college football history. And for me, that's Ronnie Lott.
Brady, is there a way that you can show the available players, or do we want to kind of have it
I can have it so it's bigger, but it's a pretty big spreadsheet.
Okay. So
I'm just going to have it on this right here, just our draft board essentially.
Okay, that's fine then. I mean, I think for the most part, people can guess who's in there.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
It's really entertaining reading the live comments right now to see how many people agree with Josh's great pick of Ronnie Lott is the number one. I mean, that would have been something if you had set odds, who's going to be the number one overall pick in a college fantasy draft. Ronnie Lott would have been a plus 50,000. that someone just would have put $5 on just for, why not? And they just won themselves a lot of money. So congrats, Josh. I'm sure you just won a lot of people in the Harris Highlights world a ton of money with that pick.
Yes, sir.
Which means Lyle is on the clock.
All right. Well, some teams like to milk their clock down at the second pick, even though you've had months to plan. I'm not going to waste any time with the second pick in the all-time Harris Highlights fantasy football draft. I select Joe Burrow, quarterback, LSU. Look, man, this guy just throws the ball around the football field like nobody's business. You throw for 60 touchdowns in a year. Some people think it's the greatest season a quarterback's ever had, and it's one of the most important positions on the field. That's where I'm starting my team.
I mean, you can't go wrong there. If you're going to take any of these guys starting off at quarterback, especially fresh in your mind guy type of player, you're going to take Joe Burrow, and that seems like a pretty legit pick right there. Good pick, Lyle.
Great pick.
All right. Well,
Great answer.
And make sure you guys are crossing these guys out when you take them, because I'm looking at it right now, the draft thing, and I think Lyle's about to go ahead and delete Burrow. I think Josh already took down Ronnie Lott, which means, guys, I'm officially on the clock. And this is a tough one because you can go any direction. There's so many great players available, but I think for me here, running back is the obvious choice. I mean, I think you can get some good guys here. And for me, it's a pretty easy selection, I think, as to who I'm going to take here with my number 3 overall pick. So, Brady, if you can, cue the quick little tune-up right now for my pick.
Give me 1 second. I got to find this on my desktop here.
Okay.
Because...
don't be prepared. It's all good. Hey,
Oh, yeah, right.
This is the guy who didn't have the doc open.
Hey.
And right before he admitted that, said, "This is my show."
This is my show. My show now, Blake.
Combo.
Really quickly, for those who are
Combos.
watching right now, leave a comment as to which running back you think I take right now with my number 1 pick.
Blake, did he do it?
I haven't picked yet. I'm waiting for the.
All right, Blake, you ready?
I'm ready for the tune.
Did he do it?
There it is. Okay. With my first pick of the 2020 Harris Highlights Greatest of All Time Fantasy Draft, I, Blake Harris, select arguably the greatest running back in college football history, Barry Sanders.
Thought he was going to go somewhere else.
I did too.
Shocked the people on that one. But Barry Sanders, I think he owns the record for most rushing yards in a season, most rushing touchdowns in a season. A lot of people kind of have him, Herschel Walker is like the 1-2 kind of punch of best running backs. But I'm going with the guy who I think is the greatest college football running back ever, and that's Barry Sanders, which, guys, that's my pick. There it is. There's my explanation.
We got to react to what people are saying in the comments now. And someone said, I'm surprised Blake didn't take Todd Gurley.
Well, I don't think Todd Gurley's on this list, unfortunately.
He's not. There were some people in the comments throwing up names. I'm like, yeah, they're just not going to be on this list today at all.
All right, Brady, you're on the clock.
Oh, I'm on the clock. I get a snake mine though, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. So you get back to back picks right now.
Ooh, this is a good spot to be because you get a lot of options. But what Blake said a second ago stuck to me. He said, he was split between Barry Sanders and Herschel Walker. And who's the guy Blake didn't take? That's Herschel Walker. So I'm going to go with a running back with my first pick. And I'm going to try to find him on. Here we go. Herschel Walker. I'm taking him with my first pick in this first round. You really can't go wrong with any of these elite running backs that we have on this list. And I'm using my, NFL sponsored Surface tablet here. So the touchscreen pen and all this fun stuff. Since I'm going to go back to back, this is a tough spot for me to go. Do I stick with a running back and take one of these top guys, or do I jump over the quarterback and, follow on the train of Lyle, or do I be like Josh and take a DB? Or do I take a head coach? I could take a head coach right now. I'm not going to, though. I am be bold. I'm going to go and run with a quarterback. Oh, man, it's tough.
Also, Brady's people are upset you didn't use the draft noise on the last pick, so use it on this upcoming.
I'll use it on this one. All right, here we go. All right, with what will this be, the 5th pick in whatever we're calling this draft, I'm going to take Tim Tebow.
Ooh. I like it.
Tim Tebow from Florida.
I like it. That's an exciting pick. That's a great pick. Great pick, Brady. Great pick. But Brady, you can get the sound effect up right now because I already know who I'm taking with this next pick. With my second pick in the 2020 Harris Highlights Show, greatest of all time fantasy draft, Team Blake Harris, who doesn't have a name yet, has to, without a doubt, go with Reggie Bush, running back from USC. There may be some better overall players available, but if we're having the greatest of all team, he was my favorite player as a kid. He's the reason I'm a Saints fan. He's the reason I fell in love with college football. So I had to have him on the team. And he's also, one of the 10 best running backs probably in college football history as well. So there you go. I go Barry Sanders and Reggie Bush with my first two picks.
You just said greatest of all team, by the way.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I like that, actually. It's kind of a clever name for it.
Yes, that.
All right, Brady, you can cue up the music because I'm ready to go too.
Unlike Lyle Seahawks, he's ready to make a pick.
Exactly. With my second pick in the Harris Highlights all-time draft, Team Lyle selects Calvin Megatron Johnson, wide receiver, Georgia Tech. How much do you need to say about this guy? In an offense that was never that potent and that creative. These guys have ran the triple option forever, but when he was there, what did they do? They got on the ball all the time because he's an absolute freak. He's 6'6", 200 whatever pounds, and an absolute athlete and one of the greatest receivers of all time. I want him on my roster, and I got Calvin Johnson.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick. So this is an interesting spot for me because the number of receivers we have on this list perfectly matches up to how many every single one of these receivers is going to be taken today.
I think except for one. We added one additional one.
Okay. So right now, I'm going to take a receiver with one of these next two picks because I'm not really concerned about running backs and quarterbacks because I think there's so many good ones here. You can go in so many different directions. So with these next two picks, I have a couple of different options. My first pick here is the first wide receiver that I wanted to take off the board. So I'm going to. I'm going to take.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Thank you. You're
welcome.
Larry Fitz. Taking Fitz right off the board here. These are a couple of picks right here that I think are really important for the wide receivers. Is obviously you can't really go wrong if we're being honest with any of these picks for any position, but it really comes down to who you want. And when it comes down to the receivers, take who you want when you can because they're going to be gone pretty quickly. Since again, all but one are going to get taken. So I'll take Larry Fitz here. Then, there's a lot of different options. Honestly, I think
he's going broadcaster. He's going
broadcaster.
I knew it.
I'm going back to the receivers and I'm taking Desmond Howard.
Okay.
So I wanted to get two receivers fairly early because again, I think they're scarce for who you want. And those were the top two guys that I wanted outside of course, Calvin Johnson. So I got my two receivers that I really want, and I'm going to sit back and let you guys pick for a little bit here.
All right, well, let's do it. With my third, I'll wait for Brady to cue up the music. That's like making. With the third pick in the draft, you know how much I value quarterbacks. I select Cam Newton, quarterback, Auburn. Sure, he only had one big year like Burrow, but that one big year included 30 touchdowns on the ground and 20 plus on the ground and 30 through the air, and he won a national championship and a Heisman too. How much better does it get than that? Joe Burrow and Cam Newton, for somebody that values quarterbacks like I do, I'm pretty satisfied with that.
Can you guys hear the sirens going off right now? Because there's something going on.
Oh, now we can.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to mute myself.
Yeah.
I thought someone else was going to talk. Sorry. Am I talking? I thought you guys were going to analyze Lyle's pick there.
Lyle going quarterback 1 and 2, or taking two quarterbacks already doesn't surprise me. He, like he said, values quarterbacks immensely. And can you get two better overall college guys than those two quarterbacks there? That's a pretty solid 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get into
my mother just came into the show then.
Great. I'm gonna try to get in some words before there's a a drug bust across the street for me and everything. The chopper gets above me. But I like Lyle's 2 picks because I mean, if this was a real league, I mean, having 2 quarterbacks that can just throw 4 touchdowns and run in 2 touchdowns a game is deadly. So, I mean, there's no like rankings of like the best quarterbacks on the list, but I mean, as I think Brady said, there's like 20 something quarterbacks total. I think Lyle Easy probably has like 2 of like the top 6 or 7. So very good picks, Lyle. Very good picks. But someone said, why didn't you take Brady Quinn? That's a good question. Maybe Brady Quinn's on the board for one of us to take Brady, but I got my pick loaded up so you can cue that music for me. With my 3rd overall pick in the 2020 Harris Highlights Greatest of All Time College Football Fantasy Draft, Team Blake Harris, with no name as of yet, is going to take Randy Moss from Marshall. Yes.
Good pick.
Thank you.
Really good pick.
Thank you. I'm picking a lot of guys I didn't even get to watch in college. So, hey, there you go. So
that's
Randy
like
Moss.
this. That's what a lot of this is a lot of guys, we never really watched.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest of all time are before us. We have to remember that. It's not just, DeMario Richard and some other great running backs and players in college football.
Brady, before you make your pick, I'm reading the comments right now, and Charlie Kingsbury says a fun option would be maybe we can add this like for the next one is pick a stadium for our team to play at. That could be a fun one potentially that we do next week. If
we can add that for next week. Yeah.
Like
a conference and a stadium.
I like it.
We can do that so we have an even number of picks. I like that. It's a good idea. Whose idea was that?
Where to go? Charlie Kingsbury.
Charlie Kingsbury.
Probably Cliff's young son.
Cliff's son, yes. All right, with my pick in the 3rd round, I'm going to sort of mimic what Josh did with his first pick. And what I think of is one of the best defensive backs of all time.
Don't do it, Brady.
I'm going with a guy. Hang on, I just glitched out here.
I have my eye on someone. I don't want you to take him. If you
Charles
take him, you'll be upset.
Woodson. I'm going Charles Woodson he's one of these guys who beat out Peyton Manning for the Heisman. That's all he had to do was beat out Peyton Manning, right? An easy task to do. Another quarterback on this list we have as the greatest of all time, Peyton Manning. He was one of those guys that, did a little bit of offense, not a whole lot, but his special teams game and his defensive game is really one of the best we've seen, unmatched. So Charles Woodson is, an elite level talent as a solid DB and a Heisman winner. How often can you say that about defensive players? Not very often. I'm sorry. Here you go.
There you go.
There it is.
The people have been waiting.
The people have been waiting. With the first pick of the 4th round now? This is the 4th round.
I think it is, yeah.
It's the 4th round. I'm taking a guy who I haven't picked at a position yet, and I'm going with one of the greatest receivers of all time from Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice. One of these guys, like Randy Moss, didn't get these big D1 scholarships and offers, and look at it, he's one of the best of all time. So I'm throwing Jerry Rice out there to catch balls from Tim Tebow.
I like it. This next one is tough. Where I all my other picks, I said Brady, cue that as sound effect, but I got to think on this one because I was going to say there's some good guys available. All these guys are good. These are all great players. They're college football's, greatest of all time. And there's some different ways I'm leaning. It's just tough because since it's only like a 4-man draft, I mean, I'm on the clock again in 4-5 more picks. So there's a good chance some of these guys, they might fall back to me, but then there's a chance some of them might not. I want to make a splash on my team. I want to have kind of, just the flashy guys, the exciting guys, some of the, the guys that you would want on your team. So Brady, why don't you cue up that music or that tune. With the 4th pick of the 2020 Harris Highlight Show, greatest of all time fantasy draft, my team, which is going to go down as the greatest team when it's all said and done,
Okay.
is going to select with this pick Sean Taylor from the U. And I wanted to get one of the, I mean, again, a lot of these guys are still going to be on the board later on, but Sean Taylor, he was kind of the guy I had my name on coming into this, where I really wanted to get him on my team. The dude was an absolute freak. He was an absolute stud. 95% of the hits he did would not be legal today. But yeah, I just wanted to get that guy on my team. So I go with Sean Taylor right there.
No complaints. I mean, one of the best to ever do it.
You guys all have DBs already. That kind of makes my life easy, I must say. Well, let's see. All right.
Well, Lyle, you didn't hear when we talked about the show where for every tackle you get points, and for style points you get them as well. So taking a DB actually is more beneficial than taking an offensive player.
Agreed. Like taking one first overall.
Exactly.
First
actually,
overall.
If you take a DB first overall, his points are double on random weeks during the season.
I already won.
Yeah.
Well,
it's in the handbook I sent out.
Tempting as that may be, my pick is in. So, Brady, whenever you're ready to cue that thing up, I'm ready. My fourth pick in the fourth round, I select Michael Crabtree, wide receiver, Texas Tech. All this guy did in his 2 seasons at Texas Tech was catch 41 touchdowns. I mean, his NFL career might not have been like as amazing as some people thought it was going to be. His college career was every bit of that, and I'm more than happy to get my quarterback some more weapons.
That's a good pick.
Lyle with some big outside threats.
I like Lyle, like me, going for the receivers, taking them out quick. Let's see here. So now we have a couple more options. I'm still going to stay away from the quarterbacks, but I kind of want to go running back here because I think it's an important pick at this point. So I'm going to go with a guy who I think is one of the top 5 running backs of all time, and that's Jim Brown. So I'm taking Jim Brown here. Oh, yeah, sorry. I keep not letting Brady know when the pick is in.
There you go, Josh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. So Jim Brown, I mean, in ESPN's top 150 players ever, wasn't he number 1?
Jim Brown was number 1.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if I would put him as the best, college football player of all time, but I think he had a huge impact, and I think he's one of the best, obviously, if not one of the best, one of the top 5 running backs. So I'll go Jim Brown here. And then for a second pick, guys, we knew one of these was coming eventually. And this one, I mean, take your pick. We could have made a list.
Broadcaster. It's going to be broadcaster. Josh, the over-under on when you would take a broadcaster was actually set at 10.5, rounds 10.5. So there's a lot of people that had money invested on this. Rounds 10.5.
It's not a broadcaster. Sorry for anybody that put more money down on my pick outside of a DB at number 1. We all knew that one of these was going to come sooner or later, and with Reggie off the board, it really narrows it down a little bit. Really, I could go so many different places. Yeah, let's go take 2. I could go so many different places. For this one, I'm going Marcus Allen. I got to get one of my Trojan Heisman winners on here, so I'm taking Marcus, another guy who I think is in the top 10 running backs ever, and he's a Trojan. So for me, it really came down to Charles White, OJ, and Marcus Allen, and I knew that one of those 3 was going to end up on my team. So I'm glad I got Marcus where I did.
I like it. Initially, for whatever, when I saw the list initially, my first reaction when I saw that was who put Buck Allen on the list, just because. But then I was like, wait, no, Buck Allen's not Marcus Allen. Those are different players,
different people.
All right, Lyle, you're on the clock.
All right, let's do it. I got to be honest, Josh. I like this whole Trojan theme you got going here because I had a couple of lines. So Brady, if you're ready to cue that music up, I think my 5th pick in the Harris Highlights All-Time Draft. I select John Johnson.
Really?
For USC.
I like it.
So there's my 3 receivers. Again, just how Michael Crabtree had 2 outstanding years. So did Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, he had 168 catches in his 2 years. He had 16 touchdowns. He had multiple 1,000-yard seasons. And this guy was just he's been flashy his whole career on and off the field. And I like that. I like some flash.
Guys, I'm really upset right now because I just realized I already picked my 2 running backs, so I can't go OJ Simpson right now. It's really tough. I thought
you were going to take him with your first pick.
My
really
white
thought you were gonna take your
Broncos
first
were
pick.
really needing another running back right here. Okay, my white Broncos. You know, I needed someone that'd be like a glove for my starting offense, but unfortunately, I can't do that. But Lyle, there are still 2 open running back spots on your team, so hey, you know, if it fits, he can be a great fit for your team. But I'm not going to go running back. In fact, no, I have 2 quarterback spots available. I have 2 wide receiver spots available. But guys, no one's taken a kicker yet.
I saw this coming.
No one's taken a kicker yet. And it's going to stay that way because no chance do I take a kicker right here. Oh, no. All right, Brady, you might have to cue that again in 30 seconds because
That's fine. I'll let you look.
I am torn right now between a few people. I mean, this is tough. This really is tough. But, you know, I do need another wide receiver. I need one, and I'm just going to delete this one because I don't think Lyle deleted it when he made his last pick. That's okay, Lyle. I got you.
Oh, my bad.
That's all good. Okay, Brady, you can cue it again. All right, with my next pick of my fantastic draft that is currently taking place before your very eyes, my team, still with no name as of right now, but we'll get one soon, is going to select Percy Harvin from good old Gainesville, Florida. Percy Harvin, it's kind of tough because you hear his name and you just, you know, he didn't really do as much or accomplish as much in the NFL as people expected him to do. But when he was at Florida, this guy was an absolute stud. I mean, he was an animal with Tim Tebow. If he's not there, who knows if Tim Tebow is able to lead Florida, you know, the championship runs. But yeah, Percy Harvin, I was close to going another direction, but I needed a wide receiver. And I just, you know, wasn't sure whether or not, because Brady needs 2 more. I wasn't sure whether or not he was going to go with it. So I had to be safe and take Percy Harvin right there.
It's a good pick. You know, I jump in the gun to try to, you know, block me for getting one of them. I like the idea. Good strategy, Blake.
Thanks, Brady.
And that actually did throw a wrench in what I was going to do. So good for you. And Blake forgot to delete Percy Harvin.
Sorry, I'm replying to a comment right now.
Okay, that's fine. Perks of having back-to-back picks. I'm going to fill up my final running back spot with the guy who scored 43 career touchdowns. And ESPN listed him as the number 3 top 150 player of all time. I already have the number 2. Bo Jackson. Bo knows football. Bo knows how to win games. My running backs now had a combined 95 touchdowns in their collegiate careers and almost 10,000 yards between the 2 of them. So, you know, a dominant running back backfield, I'd say. Just, you know, be pretty honest about it.
Fun fact, although Brady took Bo Jackson right there, it's not the greatest Bo that Brady thinks has ever played college football.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
The greatest of all time.
Hey, Brady, he's still on the board. Bo Nix. You can actually write him in.
He is still on the board. Yeah, you can write him in. I'm gonna fill out my another receiver spot here. Just, you know, jump on it. I'm gonna go with one of the most recent guys on this list. One of the most recent guys, and that's gonna be Corey Davis as a receiver. You know, just a yards machine and a touchdown machine. I'm going to go with Corey Davis from Western Michigan, the Bronchos. Isn't it spelled Broncho?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I thought Western Michigan spelled it.
No. Blake, I think on one of our pick'ems wrote Bronchos on the doc.
It's just Bronco.
I've misspelled a lot of things on our Google Docs in the past.
The University of Arizona State.
Yes. All right. So I'm on the clock now, boys. And just like I was going to say I'm one of 2 people, but there's only 4 of us. But Josh and I don't have any quarterbacks yet. And considering that Josh needs 2, I need 2, and Brady needs 1, I want to make sure I get one of these, you know, electrifying guys who I can add to my team. I mentioned it earlier, guys, but I want guys on my team. They're going to put people in the stands. I want guys that are going to bring people in, make my team just make him a ton of money. And there are a few guys on this list that can do that, but there's one guy who I think is going to sell more tickets than any other quarterback that's remaining on this board. So Brady, can you cue my little tune, please? It's the what is this? 6th pick? Is this the 6th pick?
I don't know.
I think it's like blocked right now. I think it's the 6th pick.
Six.
In,
It's 6.
2020 Harris Highlights fantasy draft of the greatest college football players of all time. My team, who's going to be even more stacked after this next pick, selects Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel. Now, again, there might be some better quarterbacks, that are on the board, but I'm going for the most exciting team, the team that's going to put people in the seats. And, I mean, Johnny Manziel also did win a Heisman Trophy, so it's not like he was a slouch in college football. So I got to go with Johnny Football right there.
I like it. It's a good pick.
Yep.
I like it. Getting your quarterbacks out. I like it. Well, I got 2 quarterbacks. I got 2 receivers. And you know what? I want to take one of the most important positions in football that also allows these guys to shine and get some time. So, Brady, if you want to cue that music up, with my 6th pick in the Harris Highlights all-time draft, I select Joe Thomas, left tackle. Look,
I like it.
What's that?
I like it.
I love
Lyle's
it.
filled in the line.
Look, this guy went on to be the 3rd pick in the NFL draft and turned himself into who was maybe the greatest left tackle of all time. And in college, he did more of the same. All he did was block. He didn't let anybody past him, and he's just so dominant. I need some protection, so get this guy on my team.
I really like Lyle's mindset right here. I think Joe Thomas is a great pick. Easily one of the I guess probably the best offensive tackle or one of the best offensive tackles in the BCS era. And I'm gonna go kind of similar here. A guy. Keep forgetting. I'm sorry, Brady. A guy that
I forgot to do it for my own, so it's fine.
A guy that Brady continued to rave about when he saw this name on the list, and I put him there, and I knew Brady was going to like this pick. I'm going to take him, and I think everybody at Bleacher Report would too. They ranked him as the number 1 offensive tackle of all time, and that's Orlando Pace. Oh, and I'm up again.
People are going to be going wild in the comments because for whatever reason, a lot of people have been telling someone to pick Orlando Pace. I guess they got the over under of 7.5 on round that Orlando Pace was taken in. So if you took the under on 7.5, congrats. I believe you just won because that was round 6.
Josh, let me just tell you this. I don't know if you know this. Orlando Pace finished 4th in the 1996 Heisman voting.
Yes, he did.
An offensive lineman finished 4th overall in the 96 Heisman voting. This was my guy. This was my guy coming up next.
So, sorry, but this could be Penei Sewell next year. Maybe he'll finish 4th. Maybe he'll win the Heisman. O'Dare Jr. says the pancake machine.
Oh yeah,
we love to see. Now, here's another interesting spot, and I think it's time I go quarterback. And here's another guy who's a consensus top 10 quarterback of all time, which I think. For at least for our quarterbacks, I think saying somebody's a top 10 quarterback of all time means something, considering we've got 40 quarterbacks on this list. He was my. Oh, hold on here. Hold on. I think we might be getting a trade.
What? Whoa!
Go for Josh.
Hey, Josh, it's Brady here in Indianapolis. How's it going?
Oh, how's it going, Brady?
Good, man. Just calling to see if you want to deal this pick at all.
Ooh, let's see. Well, what picks do you have coming up in the future?
I got back-to-backs, all the way through. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What do you want?
I don't know. You know what? Why don't we stay on the line? I'm going to keep this pick, but we'll keep the trade lines open. All right.
Got it. Sounds good.
All right, cool. Well, I'll talk soon. All right. So reports are saying that Brady just gave me a ring and that we were thinking about doing a trade. Those rumors are not true. That never happened. We have had no talks with Brady Klein whatsoever about his unnamed team trading with my unnamed team for a pick. But I cannot deny that they will or will not happen again or for the first time ever. So I think here I got to go with a guy that I grew up watching. I think he's a consensus top 10 quarterback of all time, and that's Matt Leinart. We're getting our second Trojan off the board here. Our third Trojan off the board. God, I'm so sorry. I do this every pick. The next pick, I'm going to tell you when I'm ready. So we got Matt Leinart here, and the other quarterback that I want is still on the board. So we're looking up, boys.
Well, we all know damn well it ain't going to be Vince Young. That's for sure.
Man, would that be a curveball or what?
So just to clarify, if we're adding 2 categories next week, are we doing 9 picks today instead of 8? Is that right?
Sure.
Sure, that's fine.
I didn't know because I got
which ones are we adding? I know I suggested them, but I already forgot.
Stadium and conference.
Oh, conference.
Oh man, I'm absolutely going Big Sky. Run the table, boys.
All right, so yeah, we'll do 9 picks today then.
All right.
Cool.
Me.
So what is that?
Well,
3 more? 2 more?
Yeah. So I have 3 more. You have 2 more, Josh.
Cool.
You know what? I know full well this next pick may get slandered by you guys. It may get slandered in the comments. It may get slandered by whoever. But you know what?
There'll be slander in the comments on this pick.
Yeah, but you know what?
Somebody's already said that I lost. We're like 6 picks in. Like, who is losing?
Guess what? This is my team, and I need my team ran a certain way.
You tell him, Lyle.
Oh boy.
With this pick,
no way.
Head coach Dabo Sweeney out of Clemson.
Oh.
I need Dabo because guess what? Not only do I love his off the field philosophy.
And Lyle, I think, just froze for good reason. His connection just went out because God said, you just took a head coach in the 7th round.
God said no, Lyle.
Specifically how much he loves to throw the football. And
Hold on, Lyle. Lyle, your connection went out. Restart.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah. There are 3 Notre Dame coaches on the board right now, and you picked Dabo.
Lyle, your connection went out.
Let me say it again, because I said, not only do I love what Dabo does off the field and how he lets his players be themselves and kind of handle themselves in the locker room, but I love his X's and O's, specifically how he loves to throw the ball downfield, and I need the ball thrown downfield on my team. So I want Dabo Sweeney as my head coach to run the team the right way.
You don't want Pete? You have 3
No, I don't want Pete.
Josh, he doesn't want a coach that's going to, abandon his team when a major scandal's about to happen.
He has his own NFL coach and 3 Notre Dame head coaches on the list and Nick Saban, and he's like, nope.
Well,
good. 7th round Dabo.
The live chat's as great as we expect. Josh, someone just said, good news, Josh didn't lose anymore. Lyle lost. And then Short Round said, even Lyle's Wi-Fi couldn't believe it.
I don't hate the fact that he took Dabo. I'm just surprised you took him this early.
Yeah.
Look, I need my team ran a certain way.
Somebody said he should have picked Gus Johnson.
Hey, they might be sneaking up on my next pick. All right, boys. Well, Lyle just he went with it. Major props to Lyle. Major props to Lyle. I mean, this is your own draft. You can do whatever you want. You can run the draft how exactly you want it to be run. But I spoiler alert, I'm not going to take a head coach right now. I'm not. I might save it for a little bit later. So Brady, you can cue that little sound effect for me, please. There we go. All righty. With my next pick of the greatest team ever assembled in the history of fantasy drafts of any kind, my amazing team that's about to get even better is going to select Devin Hester in the flex. I need a guy that can get punt return, kick return touchdowns for me, maybe do a little running, maybe do a little catching. Hey, maybe throw the ball. Hey, maybe even do some coaching since coaches are that valuable. But I'm going to go with David Hester. The first player that Devin Hester, sorry, the first player that's taken out of the flex position for this draft. So those of you that are watching, I know some people commented and I responded to them. We do have a flex where it's kind of like kick returners, punt returners, and guys that just overall do it all. So I'm going to go with Devin Hester right there.
It's a good pick. I like that. If we're making reaches now, might as well reach for Devin Hester. It's a reach. I like it though.
Brady, you can't say that Devin Hester is a reach when the pick before me was a head coach.
I'm also not going to say Devin Hester isn't one of the most explosive football players of all time, which he is.
That's true.
There you go.
All right, I'm following on pace, not an Orlando pace pun, but just on pace. From Lyle and Joss with this next pick. I'm taking a guy who was taken 3rd overall, 1980. Hey, where'd he go to college, Josh?
I'm sorry. Hold on. Who you're going offensive line?
I'm going Anthony Munoz.
Oh, big Trojan.
Another Trojan picked. Anthony Munoz is one of those guys who's considered one of the best offensive linemen of all time. I think Joe Thomas is the best tackle of all time, but Munoz is right up there with any of these guys too. If I can't get Orlando Pace, I'll go with Anthony Munoz.
Yeah, I think that just shows how much I like this Orlando Pace pick, because we had Anthony Munoz, Tony Baselli, and Ron Yeri all on this list, and I went with Orlando Pace, baby.
Yeah. A guy that
Sorry, Brady.
wasn't even USC.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, man. I got back-to-backs, but I got to figure out. Oh, boy. Give me a second. I also didn't play the little jingle for myself.
Dude, come on.
You're boofing.
This is from before. You boof. If Blake took a flex, let me see if this is. I might be able to utilize this guy and draft him not as a flex player. No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, man, this is tough. You know what I'm going to do? If we're reaching for people.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
If we're reaching for people.
Oh, no. What is he going to do?
I'm taking Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, all right.
Oh, dang it.
Hey, here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Gronk. What better party would you rather go to than Tim Tebow, Rob Gronkowski?
I honestly don't think that's a reach. Like, Gronk only played through his sophomore year at U of A. And
he got hurt, too.
When he caught 10 touchdowns as a sophomore at a tight end position.
I know.
At U of A. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he went there until he was already on the Patriots. I don't remember him at U of A. I don't know why.
He got hurt a good amount, too.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tough.
So Gronk, first tight end taken.
I like it. Now I have no clue what to do right here. I'm looking because I was eyeing Gronk. I was eyeing him because I went into this saying I need to get Gronk as my tight end. So what can I do here? What can I do? Well, there's one way I can go. All right. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to make my pick. So Brady. With my next pick, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 2 picks left each. The greatest team ever assembled that I didn't think personally could get any better, which is actually about to right now. I already got Sean Taylor on my defense, which is an amazing pick, but I need to get some beef down there. I need some beef. I need some delicious, just scrumptious beef that is just, So with that being said, I am going to select Aaron Donald from Pittsburgh. Which I don't know how he ended up at Pittsburgh. I don't know how he ended up at pick 13, whatever that was, but there you go. Aaron Donald right there on my D-line. This was a tough one because I'm not going to list all the names that we have because I want to keep it a surprise, but there are some really good guys on that D-line for defensive ends or defensive tackles that we got listed right there. Some absolute studs, but Aaron Donald, the dude's been an absolute beast for the Rams the last 3, 4, 5 years, however long it's been, and the dude was a beast at Pitt, so I got to go with Aaron Donald right there.
I like it.
I like it too.
Let's see. I won't lie. That throws a little bit of a wrench in what I was going to do. Let's see.
Wait, Lyle, were you going to go Aaron Donald?
I was, because he had 28.5 tackles for loss in his last year. He had,
That's pretty good.
Before.
You just made me feel a lot better about my pick right now. Man, Team Blake is just...
That's all right. All right. I know what I want to do here. Brady, you can cue that music up. This next pick in the all-time Harris Highlights draft, Team Lyle selects Psych. Team Lyle selects Khalil Mack, linebacker, Buffalo.
This was
Donald's stats were nuts. So were Khalil Mack's. At the linebacker position, this guy recorded, 74.5 tackles for loss in his career. Just how Blake said, I don't know how Aaron Donald ended up at Pitt. I don't know how Khalil Mack was ever a 2-star and ended up at Buffalo, but somehow he was. All he did was absolutely wreck offensive lines and offensive skill players through 4 straight years, and it earned him a spot in the NFL, and now he's one of the highest paid players in the league. This guy's an absolute force to be reckoned with, and now I got to start building my defense. So what better way to start than with a guy like that?
I like the pick. I mean, this was a late addition to the players, honestly. Lyle added it last
So
night.
was Aaron
this
Donald.
morning. Yeah, both these guys were late. Khalil Mack was last night. Aaron Donald was this morning. And look at them. They're the first 2 front 7 players taken.
Mm-hmm.
I like the pick.
What'd you say?
I said I like the pick. I like that pick.
We're in another interesting position here, and a lot of guys are going for linebackers. There are a couple guys that I really had on my radar here. I would have loved to take Junior Seau.
Also, Josh, before you go, these are your final 2 picks of the night.
They are. These are my final 2 picks of the day. For me, I'm also going to go linebacker with this pick. Brady, the pick is in.
There you go. Thanks, Josh.
Yes, sir. A 4-year starter from Baylor, Mike Singletary.
So good.
Yeah, he was unstoppable. He played in like every game. I think he started every single game he played in at Baylor, and I don't think he missed a game at Baylor. He might have missed one in his 4-year career or something like that. He was unstoppable, and he was one of the first players to really put Baylor on the map. That was the linebacker that I wanted. So glad I got him here. And then this is my last pick, right?
Yes.
It's my last pick. So, oh man, that's tough. That's tough. There's a couple of different places we can go here. Did somebody already delete him off the board, or do I have to do that? I already deleted.
I just did it for him.
Or you deleted it.
I just did it.
I'm gonna stay away from coach and D lineman here because I'm not really concerned with any of that. So I could go tight end. I'm going to go tight end. Yeah, let's pretend I told you. We're going to go with a guy, another 4-year starter, averaged nearly 16 yards per catch as a tight end, over 1,600 receiving yards, and nearly 30 touchdowns, and that's Jermaine Gresham.
That's solid.
Good pick.
It's a really good pick.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Liner.
Well, there's a little
Take
bit.
the pick, Josh.
Yeah.
What?
You
Oh,
did
thanks.
good. You did good, kid.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Well, okay, so last pick of the night, and you know what? There seems like there's a little bit of a run going here, so I'm going to prolong it. So, Brady, cue up that music whenever you're ready, because I think my pick with my last pick of section 1 of the all-time Harris Highlights draft, Team Lyle selects Tony Gonzalez, tight end out of Cal. So, his numbers weren't like pop off the charts amazing at Cal. However, like some teams just don't utilize tight ends, especially back in the 90s. But everything about this guy's build up and what he did at the next level kind of solidifies how good this guy is and how much talent he possesses. And again, you know what? You look at the rest of my team, it's kind of a pass happy team right now with a lot of explosive weapons. And I'm happy to take a guy like Tony Gonzalez.
Well, I would hope it's pass heavy, considering you took Dabo Sweeney in the 7th round. So,
Oh, it will be.
Lyle, not Lyle. You do know that you are allowed to take running backs in the draft, right? Like you're allowed to. We give you permission to take running backs.
Oh, I understand.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that you knew that, like, we weren't outing you or anything. We're letting you take running backs.
It is worth pointing out that there's a guy on that running backs list available that a lot of different sites have as the best running back of all time, and he's still.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed because maybe I think Josh, we're thinking of the same guy, because I kind of wish I could take another running back.
Yeah, me too.
Unless I can call one of my guys and just say, you know what, you're dropped. I'm taking someone else.
You're
Hey, it's our
cut.
draft. We can do whatever we want right now.
Hey, if he doesn't get picked, we can sign guys as free agents afterwards.
Free agent. So it goes in reverse, or free agency goes in reverse order of the draft. So then I'll get first pick for free agency.
Come on.
That's how it works.
That's bull.
Really interesting. And which one of the guys do you represent? And they're willing to give me that much for my next pick. Do they know that you're calling me right now? They don't. This is just the agent trying to get in some extra picks. Interesting.
Josh, Blake's
All right.
stealing our bit.
All right, I'll let him know.
It would have been really funny if he kind of made that up first.
Hey, well, I just got a phone call, guys.
Who was it from?
It was from Lyle's agent. And
Oh.
Lyle's agent is desperately trying to get this next pick because they want to get a running back that's still available on the board.
Lyle's
Incorrect.
agent?
Lyle's agent.
Incorrect.
Well,
Lyle's agent.
Wouldn't it be the general manager?
Hey, wait, Lyle, do you have an agent?
I do not.
Oh, Blake, you're a liar. That is
Oh,
a
well,
Self-represented.
false report.
okay.
Lyle's
All right, boys.
self-represented. I like that. I
This
like
is
that.
my final pick of the night, of the evening, or whatever it may be. And I got some decisions I got to make. Looking at my team, while I can't draft any more running backs, there is, tight end, offensive line I could go with. I can get another wide receiver. I could go with maybe like another quarterback, something like that. Or I could make a splash, go with head coach, go with the broadcasters, or go
I know what he's
another
doing.
way.
I know what he's doing.
Do you? Because I don't.
Oh, are you
I
stalling?
do, and it's stalling. Yeah.
I'm trying to. Let's see here. This is tough. Well, guys, Brady, I think the pick is in, and I know who I'm going to go with. I need guys on my team not only that can bring in money, bring in tickets, bring in just family entertainment. I need guys that can win the biggest games out there. I need that. Now, there was some controversy behind the way this guy won, but he won arguably one of the biggest games in college football history. It pains me to say it, but I need a guy where I know he could drive down the field and get me a touchdown. So with my final pick of the night in the 2020 Harris Highlights Fantasy Draft of greatest players of all time in college football history, it pains me, but it makes my team better. I'm going to go with Vince Young, quarterback from Texas. And I see that we've lost Josh, so that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Also, MJ wanted me to take Marcus Mariota, quarterback from Oregon, but unfortunately, there are just a lot better quarterbacks on the board. So sorry, MJ.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a duck somewhere else in the draft.
I think, is he the only duck?
Yeah, so that's why I'm actually not going to take Vince Young, and I was just messing with you. Oh, hey, Josh.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi.
Vince
All right,
Young.
well, that was my pick.
Kind
I
of
just needed a
surprised.
few
Kind of surprised it
seconds to
took
cry.
somebody this long to take Vince Young.
Really?
Yeah, I am. I thought it would be one of the first four.
I mean, every single quarterback taken is from 2005 on, which I'm actually very surprised about.
You look at the list, though. There aren't many that are from before that.
Sure.
There's a couple. 1, 2, 5, 6 on the list. All right. I'm looking at this quarterback list, and there are a lot of good guys, and I'm going to go with Lyle's running back, mentality is there are a bunch of good guys, take them later. There's only a few really good guys at this position, and with my last pick of the night, I'm going to go with defense, and I'm taking one of the best hitters, destroyers of all time. I'm going Lawrence Taylor. Dude, LT had 192 tackles in 2 years. He got injured his first 2 years, didn't play much. His last 2 years were his main stats. 21 sacks, 33 TFLs. One of the most dominant defensive players in college and NFL history, and I got him on my team. It's a good day to be on my team that is unnamed yet.
I like it. So that does wrap up the first night of our 2-part special. For those of you that might have tuned in late that are unsure, we are breaking this into 2 episodes. We're breaking this into 2 weeks because, as you can see, it took us an hour just to go through 9 picks. So as you see the board right now, we're going to round out those picks next week. And I think, as they mentioned, we're going to be adding stadium in which our team plays in, and then conference in which our team plays in as well. So yeah, guys, those are our first 9 picks. A lot of interesting and fun things as Brady's adding it right now. How'd you guys enjoy part one of this greatest fantasy team of all time?
Are you asking us?
No, I mean yes.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was good. It was real good. I think it's pretty clear that all of our teams are the best college football teams of all time.
Now,
Yeah.
for those of you that are watching right now, that are on the live stream, that are in the comments, make sure you follow us on Twitter at the HH Show _ because that's where we're going to be determining who the ultimate winner is. That's where we're going to be determining who has the best overall team, because we're going to ask the fans to vote for the teams, because I think it's too difficult. I mean, we could do like a YouTube poll as well, but overall, more of our fans that watch the show, they interact with us over there on Twitter. So again, if you haven't already, follow the show on Twitter at the HH Show _ the HH Show with an underscore right there. Unfortunately, someone already has the HH Show, so
What was it again?
it is at the HH Show _ I think what I might do is I might take our 9-player rosters and then post those as well, and just have people vote and whatnot.
I'll do that. I'll
live.
get something made for you.
All right, Brady will put together a nice little graphic. So again, thank you to everyone that tuned in. This was a really fun show. Thanks to everyone that was interacting in the comments with us live. A lot of fun. We're going to be back next Tuesday night, live here on YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern, as long as that works for the three of you guys. Is that good?
Yeah. Are we doing team names at the end of next week, or are we doing these? When do you want to do them?
We can do them at the end when we're done with our team.
I say have it in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people are asking potentially do mascots as well, so maybe we can add mascots.
We could get rid of conference and add mascot.
I'm fine with that.
That actually might be more fun. So we'll drop the conference, add the mascot.
Just
so
let it be known that I will be playing in the Big Sky.
Okay.
So we're adding the mascot.
I'm an independent.
Again, make sure to follow us on Twitter at the HH Show _ and make sure to tune in next week at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for part 2 of our live draft. There are going to be trades. There might be some surprise picks, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, guys, before we round this thing out, any departing and final words?
I mean, good luck to all you guys for competing with my team.
Yes, but to you guys from my mouth.
Insert generic trash talk here.
Yes, that.
Yes.
Insert like up arrow you'd send in a text to like emphasize somebody else's message. Actually emphasize a text in text messages.
Even though you can, yeah.
All right. Well, that does wrap up this edition of the Harris Highlight Show. Again, thanks to everyone for tuning in. Thanks for interacting in the comments. We love reading them. Again, make sure to follow us on Twitter and tune in next week to next week's show, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We finish the greatest of all time fantasy draft, the first and only, likely ever, greatest of all time draft for Josh Schaefer, Lyle Goldstein, Brady Klein. This has been Blake Harris from my beautiful backyard in beautiful Monrovia, California, and we will see all you guys next week.
All right.
Yeah.
Woo! Number 1.
All right.